This year in 2018, so it's a pretty amazing panel, and I'm excited to bring it to you. So from shelf edge to immersive moments with the Hershey Company, IDL Worldwide, and goPuff.
Thank you. My name is Massaro. I'm the creative director at IDL Worldwide, the consumer experience agency. Really excited to be here with this group today. Our world as a consumer experience agency is changing dramatically every day, just like all of yours. And when brands like goPuff and Hershey come together to create these incredible experiences, we're just excited to be a part of it, particularly with the differences in voices between these two brands, with the difference in history between these two brands. It's just a really, really exciting moment for the consumer and for our industry. So I'd love for these guys to start by, let's introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about this experience we've created together.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Bryan Kavanaugh. I work for the Hershey Company. I got a fun role with Hershey. My team is responsible for retail evolution. And what that really means is we are leveraging our deep understanding of our consumers in our category to help the retailer partners think differently about the future of candy and snacking in general. We don't create the next Hershey candy bar, but we might create the next way that we can sell it. And so that's kind of why we're here today. We're working with a unique retailer that has a unique demographic and a unique touch point with that consumer. So we're trying to leverage some of that. I'll let Dan talk about that.
Great, so I'm Dan Folkman. I run business development at goPuff. For those of you who don't know, goPuff is a convenience delivery service. So we deliver everything from candy, snacks, ice cream, to alcohol, personal care items, home essentials. We do it in around 30 minutes, 24 hours a day for a flat $1.95 delivery fee. And the way we're actually able to do that is we operate our own warehouses. So we buy inventory, we store them in our warehouses, they're roughly 5,000 square feet, and we deliver directly to customers. We're in 28 markets across the country and growing really quickly.
And I'm Bryan Boul. I'm also with IDL Worldwide, Senior Creative Director and Chris's counterpart, and had the opportunity to partner with both Hershey's and goPuff on this amazing experience you're going to see next door. And just really excited to talk about this because, I mean, this is a topic that, I've been in this industry for 21 years as a retail designer, where we've been designing artifacts and designing experiences in store. Well, we're less about experiences, but more about heroizing products. And retail world's changed so drastically, and we're really seeking new ways to create unique and compelling ways to connect consumers with products and really with the brand and really with the emotional connection that those brands stand for. And just really excited to introduce what Hershey and goPuff are doing together here, because they've found some really innovative ways to do that. And I think that's what we have. This experience next door is really a physical representation of what they're setting out to do. So maybe Bryan and Dan, you can tell us a little bit about the collaboration you've done and what you're creating with your VR experiment.
Yeah, I'll jump in right there because I really like what you said there about bringing brands to life. And that's, I'm fortunate enough to work with a company called Hershey, because usually every time you say that name, someone's smiling right there. Everybody smiles every time you say it. So we've got some really strong brands that people really resonate with. But what's happening in the marketplace today is a lot of the shopping is transforming, right? So you don't have as many people going into physical stores as they once were. And our products are really dependent on that. No one really plans to buy a Reese cup, but when you see a Reese cup, you're going to want a Reese cup. But if you're not in a store anymore, how do you find our products? And so that's when we developed this relationship working with Dan, is understanding what that's like in that digital and online world. The big focus for my team is making sure that we can get our product where the consumer wants it, when the consumer wants it, and how the consumer wants it. But we also want to play with our big brands. And so what we're seeing in the marketplace today is folks are getting into digital or creating a store online. It's a lot of search and list, and it's a lot of search and content-driven stuff. But even times people are actually trying to create VR experiences or augmented reality experiences, they're trying to recreate the store. And going back to what you said about the brand is we've got these really strong brands that we want to bring to life. And so how can we do that in the space? Why do we want to create what looks like another convenience store when we can do something totally different?
Yeah, and I'll jump in there. I mean, I think the way that we look at today's consumer and really the space is, and what started this conversation around virtual reality and some of the other things that we're exploring is, how would you build a shopping experience if you weren't confined by the traditional four walls of brick and mortar, right? That's a question that we ask ourselves a lot internally, given that we're a digital-first company. We don't have a physical store. We're a mobile app delivering directly to the customer. So when you look at things like virtual reality, there have been companies who've done some really cool things with it around creating in-store experience or creating virtual pop-up shops, things like that. We kind of challenged each other and we said, how do you create an actual shoppable experience in a category where consumers want what they want when they want it, right? And that's kind of where we built our business. And when we looked at VR, it was, can you do something here that's very different? Can you create an experience where a consumer can actually, feel candy and feel ice cream, right? It sounds kind of weird, but how do you do that in a fun way where, the thing I go back to all the time is like, look, I'm an avid Amazon shopper, right? But I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, I'm so excited, I can't wait to go on Amazon and buy stuff today, right? People wake up, they used to wake up at least, and they would feel that way about going to a store or going to a mall or doing things like that. For us, the challenge is how do we recreate that emotion in a digital world? And I think that's where VR is one of those options, one of those possibilities, where you can create these different types of experiences that consumers are excited to shop in.
Yeah, and I think it's an opportunity too to create something that maybe even draws you back to retail, that connects these brands with unique ways to shop and makes even retail shopping something that can be fun again. I think it's pretty amazing what you're doing, and I think it's an opportunity to, again, express more of what the brand, like brands like Hershey's and the fun of candy, and what that brings and the emotions that brings to us, and provides us more choice and convenience as well. Because choice and convenience was something that we used to look for in the retail marketplace, and it's just gone compared to what digital can provide. And this is something that's uniquely fun with this VR experiment. And that's something, again, to harken back to this space that we have over here, we've created this visual or physical representation of this virtual world. And so I definitely want everybody to go over there and check it out. It's pretty exciting. Chris, I don't even know if you want to even talk about some of the space that we have over there, what we've created in that physical space.
Yeah, absolutely. The manifestation of this physical space is inspired by this digital world. It's really incredible to walk into, to put on the VR goggles and see this incredible virtual environment that's interactive, where you can, of course, shop, but we had a pretty competitive beer pong game going on virtually. It was awesome. And then there's some moments over there that are more comfortable for us as well, like really cool shareable moments. Selfies. There's a cool big tub full of Hershey moments there for a selfie and to take a photo with a group of folks. And then also there's an incredible room with some different ways that you can watch as a spectator and see some folks interacting in a really, really comfortable environment and interacting with these incredible brands in the comfort of their own home, which is going to be more and more of what the way we're all going to want to experience brands every day.
So what I would kind of link this back together. So what they created for us over there is what we're trying to do online, right? We see people turn around that corner and they go, wow, snacks, brands. They see all the fun stuff. Their eyes light up when they can jump into a pool of candy or chips or whatever it may be. Shopping is not like that today. We work with all the brick and mortar retailers. We're trying to, use your words, make candy fun again. Online, you just have a lot more palette or canvas to work with, and anything's possible. One of the things that we've learned by working with lots of retailers is it's not a one-size-fits-all. And the partnership that we have with goPuff, it allows us to work with what's really a unique demographic. They tend to cater towards the millennial crowd that's often a college student. And it's a nice demographic that we as a Hershey company would really want to get a better understanding of. And so when we go in and we create these environments, we actually create that with their customer in mind. So what's working for them is not going to work for another retailer. But what you see the ice cream is a big thing for them. The gaming, gamification of snacks, if you will. will, or the beach party for drinks. It's something that resonates with his consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the interesting point that Bryan hits on is we are really one of the only retailers that has access to this highly engaged, Gen Z and millennial consumers. We have, college kids and young adults who are moving into college dorms for the first time. They have absolutely no brand loyalty because mom and dad have been making their purchasing decisions for their entire lives, right? I remember when I was a kid, I'd open the freezer and the Aunt Jemima waffles, like that's what it was there, or the Aunt Jemima French toast, excuse me, like that's what I ate. That's all I do. And then all of a sudden you go to college, and all of a sudden you have mom and dad's credit card, and you get to you realize there's this whole new world of food and snacks and drinks out there that you get to make decisions on, right? But at the same time, this is a demographic that is they want what they want and when they want it, right? They don't have patience. They're used to getting things faster, more quicker. They're used to getting things better, right? And in that light, for us, it's how do you continue to push the boundaries of how they're shopping, right? And how do we stay ahead of that? Because just being able to bring products to their house in 30 minutes, that's really innovative, right? But it won't be innovative forever. And if we're not on top of what's next and what's beyond that, we won't be able to keep those customers. And I think you have a company like Hershey who sees that same opportunity, who sees a brand loyalty that's really hard to compete with in their space. You come around that corner exactly, and you smile because you see that Hershey bar, and you see the Kit Kat. But at the same time, how do you continue to improve that relationship other than just having a good product? And I think that's where the consumer is today, and this younger consumer wants more. A lot of these consumers that we have, at least in college, they probably never even been to a grocery store. I don't think they know what they would do if they got there. So their world is digital. So what the next version of that is pretty much what the mission that we're on to discover.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about the speed and what you can deliver to, and then we talk about these experiences that brands like Hershey can deliver, I know, Bryan, you've talked about the fact that time is a commodity that we all want back. We all want to maintain in the world that we're in. We want to keep having the fun that we're having. We want to keep in the party that we're in, and we don't want to have to leave the party to go get more snacks. And that's what's amazing about, I think, what goPuff delivers, and then with Hershey layering in this experiential point of view. And I mean, again, guys like Chris and I are challenged with this every day, is how do we deliver consumer experiences that are compelling, but also that provide that time back to our lives, that bring us something unique and experiential, but doesn't force us to go do the things that we don't want to do.
Well, and on that, it's not even just the snacks and the candy, right? It's like the young parent whose spouse is sleeping and they ran out of diapers. It's 2 a.m. The last thing they want to do is load up the car and take their kid to go get diapers, right? And while they're at it, maybe they do want some snacks because they're stressed out. But I think what we're seeing is that today's consumer, it's not just millennials, right? It's everyone. Because now there's access. The access to having this store in your hand or in your pocket at any given moment and being able to shop, everyone wants to use that. So how do we continue to tap into those, we refer to as micro moments or brand building moments where you're sick on the couch and again, you can't go to the store because you feel so bad but you need medicine. goPuff can step in and deliver it. So that's kind of where we look.
It's 2 things that we look at when we're looking at retail today. So what we look at is technology is making things convenient for people, right? So it's kind of a want versus a need. If it's something that I just have to have, technology is going to replace it. If it's someplace I don't want to go shop, or if there's a chore or whatever, you're going to subscribe. You're going to have Amazon delivered, or you're going to have goPuff delivered, or whatever. But to Dan's point earlier, is that can be replicated, but what can't be replicated is an experience or a brand or anything like that. So what we work together to try to figure out how do we make that experience so it's not just giving me time back in the day, but it's actually something that I enjoy doing as well. These guys do a fantastic job socially, digitally, all across the board of really connecting with their consumer. So how do we create something that's going to keep that going so that it's not just a convenience play or not just something that gives me a little time back in the day, but something I'm actually going to go and enjoy and want to do versus have to do.
Bryan, I'd love to talk a little bit about, identifying opportunities for change. I think is something that a lot of brands are struggling with, right? So where and how did that happen at Hershey that this opportunity was identified?
Yeah.
Right, and then everyone said, yes, we need to go and attack this new market, right? There's an opportunity here. And then how did the conversation manifest between goPuff and Hershey?
Okay. So I laugh because it's happening to a lot of big CPG out there today, right? The retail environment's being disrupted, but some of us are in a different spot. Some of the categories are moving online. Some of them are figuring out Amazon, and e-commerce is becoming a bigger piece of their business. Yeah, we're getting some organic growth through that too, but guess what? Our product melts. Our product is something that's never on the list, and people usually see it and want it, but they don't go searching for it. So we're really in a very advantaged category in the brick and mortar store, very disadvantaged category in the digital space. And so from that, we're trying to figure out how do we figure out new ways to reach our consumer in that space. And that's where these guys came in, right? So it was about a year or so ago that we just started having some initial conversations like, oh my gosh, we really like their demographic. My gosh, they have a really cool way of talking to people. We need to start figuring out what we can do, from sampling new candy bars to get some instant feedback to understanding subcategories or plays that we can do within seasonal. We've worked well together over the last year trying to figure out different ways that we can understand his consumer, and he's leveraging us to figure out different ways to bring our brands to life on his platform. And so it's led to this great collaboration that's kind of led us here today.
Yeah, and I think when we work with Hershey, I mean, and a number of brands across CPG, it's this issue of now that shopping has shifted digitally, how do you solve for impulse, right? Because if you're not going to the grocery store, it's very unlikely that when you're building a basket online, you're thinking about adding that candy bar or adding that 20 ounce of soda because you're not driven to it the same way that you are organically in a store. We've essentially recreated a checkout aisle. Right, and then expanded it. And so where we live is not only do we feel like impulse is important in what you're shopping, but in the ability to consume it that quickly, right? So I can wait two hours or even 2 days to get a new pair of jeans. I can't wait that long to eat a chocolate bar if I'm craving a chocolate bar, right? Because the craving will have passed, I'll have found something else to satisfy that need. That's where there's a massive opportunity for us in working with brands like Hershey, and then kind of doubling down on that, which is saying, how do you make that experience fun again? And that's kind of where the conversation's been.
Yeah, conversation is such a key word, I think, when we talk about these experiences, and it's not just a transactional moment. You see what's happening in the marketplace. What I'm so excited about are making these transactions more conversational every single day. So there's some really cool things that have happened recently. The Domino's pizza delivery tracker. Like, who would have ever thought, right, 5 years ago or 10 years ago that you'd want to watch your pizza be made and delivered and be a part of that conversation? But we do, we all do. And so what I love about the experience that you guys have created is it allows me to converse, be a part of the conversation with the brand. And Bryan, you mentioned getting feedback on a test product in real time. That's amazing to be able to do that and interact with the consumer instead of telling them, like we have in traditional product marketing, right? This is what the big story is. Pay attention to this. In the future, they're going to be telling us. Actually, now they're telling us, right, how to react, and we need to listen.
That's what I was going to say. Is our customer is very vocal. Our head of content is sitting right there, and she's pretty much conversing with our customer 24 hours a day.
What are they saying right now? They wish they were here.
It's good, right? Great feedback.
But what we look at and we think is the most important is the customer is our boss, right? The customer is who matters.
Yeah.
Our brand and our customer experience is everything.
Yeah.
If we don't listen to them, what's the good of them talking, right? They're willing to tell us things, not just about our service, but about the brands that we sell. It would be a mistake not to listen and actually take their advice, take their recommendation.